David DeGuzman inside the NBC4 Digital Center with another digital sports roundtable, and today we're talking all about gymnastics, and I can't talk gymnastics without the one, the only Whitney Harding, our gymnastics extraordinaire, as we're coming off of the U.S. Core Hydration Classic in gymnastics that aired this past weekend. First, Whitney, before we dive into anything, we mentioned that you have quite the background in gymnastics. For those that don't know, can you just briefly describe your background in gymnastics?
Yeah, so I did gymnastics for 17 years. In Houston, Texas, which was quite the competitive atmosphere. Almost 10 of those years were at Karolyi's Gymnastics with, yes, Marta and Bella Karolyi. That is who I grew up learning from and their staff. Then I continued on and got a full scholarship for college. Before that, I competed at Junior Olympic National Championships. I believe it was 7 times. I eventually lost count, which is really embarrassing. And then, injuries forced my retirement. So now I just talk about it.
She's got stories, folks.
I got tea.
But we want to talk about this past weekend.
Right.
So the Core Hydration Classic, it wasn't like a big meet in terms of how that translates into who's going to be on the team for Paris 2024, but it is a good indication of kind of where we're at in the process of choosing the team. What did we learn from this meet? Specifically, all eyes were on the 3 gymnasts who are Olympic gold medalists in the all-around competing together. Some had great days, some not so much.
The thing about the Core Hydration Classic, let's just call it US Classic.
Right, yeah.
The main thing about US Classic is it really is like the first big competition of the year as far as the big stage. And in gymnastics, that's actually a really important thing to note because you are on literally a stage. Lots of competitions, especially if you take your kids or something, it's just you walk into a gym, there's apparatuses set up, and the kids compete. When you're in one of these big events, it's on a platform that really makes a lot of difference because you're up off the ground. So the balance beam is already 4 feet off the ground. Well, it's on a platform that is also at least 4 feet off the ground. Depth perception, things like that. It's like when you are watching college basketball and suddenly they go into like these big football stadiums for like the Final Four and stuff. The depth perception, I'm shooting the basketball, that changes. Same thing with gymnastics when you're on these podiums. It is something that you kind of have to get used to. So there were some nerves. There were some adjustments that these young ladies were kind of going through. But that's why you have so many competitions. A lot of them, we've never seen this before, were coming out of their collegiate season. That's different because in the college season, you're competing almost every weekend. That can be hard on your body. But the other thing is your routines are easier. So there were probably some endurance issues, not just that skills were harder, but the number of skills in routines were harder. And then you have 4 events. It all kind of builds.
Yeah.
So those are all things to take into account when you watched what was going on this weekend.
Here's the biggest thing, though.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No,
the
please
biggest
do.
thing that I saw, again, from a casual viewer perspective, a lot of people obviously following Simone Biles and kind of this comeback from where she was in Tokyo. When I saw her on several routines, especially vault and floor, it seemed like she's even better than what we've seen from her before, which is not something we see often in gymnastics.
Well, and I think it's a mental perspective, right? So when she won in 2016, she was expected to win, but there wasn't, I felt like, as much hoopla around it for years going into it. Then you have 2020, when she was supposed to not just win, but absolutely blow away the competition, win a whole ton of medals. She had all of this different stuff going on. I think she even admitted after the Olympics that she just had too much on her plate. So now I think she's learned from that and she's given herself some more grace. She has gotten a personal life outside of the sport. She does things that are besides gymnastics. And I know that sounds simple, but when you are training 2 times a day, like 6 days a week, that's all you're doing. And it can get to be a lot. So I think it's great that she's kind of found that. And that's why we've seen some of these people kind of come back. Chelsea Memel came back last cycle. Gabby Douglas is doing it this cycle because you step away, you find your like inner like sanctum or whatever, and then you come back with a fresh perspective and it's just fun. And I think college gymnastics is helping some of these athletes with that as well.
So Simone Biles did great. And I think she has probably proven that she'll. Thank you. Yeah, you can say
that. Simone Biles is making the Olympic team.
Shilese Jones, though, also kind of opened up a lot of eyes as to her performances this past weekend. How do you think she did?
I think she's a lock, too. I think Shilese is also a lock because she is so solid on all 4 events. And it's important to have a couple of people who are all-arounders like that. And we'll get into the breakdown of why the strategy that goes into team stuff, especially as we get closer. But yeah, I think that Shilese showed that not only does she have the difficulty, but she has the execution, and she is a rock. She's going to be solid. She's not going to fall. That's the number one thing. Just you want to hit the routine. And I think she really showed that. I loved watching her. I think that she just has the perfect combination of power and grace and artistry. She is the whole package. I mean, I kind of feel for her that she's in the era of Simone Biles, because if not, she would run away with it and be our best gymnast. I just loved watching her, and I loved seeing her grow, especially because she used to train here in Columbus, and now I still feel like we all are pulling for her, because seeing how she's overcome so much with the loss of her father after the last Olympics and things, like, I'm really pulling for her to do. I think she's a lock as well.
Yeah, what a kind of a rare time to be watching the sport of gymnastics, where you just have so much talent, almost a dream team, if you will. One other storyline that kind of came out of this weekend was Gabby Douglas, and I think a lot of people were rooting for her. I mean, I was definitely rooting for her, and I think more importantly, she was rooting for herself to prove that she can still have it on the stage. But it didn't quite exactly come together. What do you think happened?
So I think it's just a lot, right? Like I said, it's the first competition on the stage, on the podium, that many people. And yeah, she's done it before and all of that. It's different. Things change. Skills change. Routines change. You change. I mean, it's never going to be exactly the same. So she did withdraw after she had just a really rough time on bars. One of her first skills, she messed up. She tried to recover. And bars is the hardest event, to recover from once you fall, because it's not like beam or floor where you can throw in some poses or some leaps and get yourself back on track. I mean, you're on your arms and that is it. So, and then you have to kind of figure out where you messed up, pick it back up again. I mean, falling off bars is it's mentally devastating. And I think that that's what happened, was she just could not get back into the rhythm. The good news for Gabby Douglas is she is exceptional in some areas that the United States national team is going to need. Now, can she get herself ready enough to give it a shot at nationals, make a push for this on bars, one of her best events actually, or beam, where the United States could probably use a couple more solid people like her? Maybe. That's where it's going to kind of come down to, is can she prove that she's rock solid with the difficulty on those events if she really is making a push for this team?
I don't want to leave Suni Lee out either. She had quite a weekend herself. What did you think of how she did?
For those who don't know, Suni Lee has been through so much since the Olympics. She has been diagnosed with 2 kidney diseases, one actually within the last year that forced her to stop competing at Auburn. And so she has been battling that. She's from the Minnesota area, so she has the Mayo Clinic right there. So she's able to go to the Mayo Clinic. I think she was going once a month. Now I believe she's going once every 3 months. So there is improvement, but it is something that she has had to work through because she cannot train like she used to. Kind of like Gabby Douglas. I think Suni Lee, more so really than Gabby, has a shot at making this team because she is an absolute rock star on uneven bars. And the United States needs that. They need uneven bars. And the stuff that she's been training, the videos that we've been seeing, the difficulty, the skills that no one else is doing, not even Simone Biles, skills that no one is doing. If she can put it together and if she can have the stamina, she could make the team, because no one does uneven bars or balance beam like Suni Lee. I think her completing as much of this competition as she did was a personal win, especially getting through a floor exercise routine. You could tell that she wasn't happy with how she performed, but she was glad that she did it. She finished. Sometimes that's all you got to do, finish.
Exactly. And the routines we saw this past weekend were, safe to say, kind of insane. I mean, because...
And those were watered down for some people.
Which is crazy because, we talk about degree of difficulty, and, I feel like someone told me the other day, Simone could fall on like one of her floor routines and like one of her passes, and she could still win gold because of how high the degree of difficulty is.
And that's why they had the new scoring system, because when the scoring system was just out of a 10.0, it didn't matter how much difficulty you did, because at some point everybody would start at that 10. You had to build up to start at a 10, but there was no higher ceiling. Now that you have the two scores, one is the execution, which is 10.0, and you start start deductions on form breaks, falls, that kind of thing. Then difficulty has its own score. You start from 0 and build up. That is where Simone shines, because her difficulty is going to be between that 6 and 7 number. And people are trying so hard to get to that 6, and she's there. I mean, the vault alone is a 7.
It's insane.
And
it's insane.
She could fall on that and still probably win vault, because the start value is so high.
Gosh.
It's wild. But we're going to see that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Jade Carey can add difficulty. She had a fantastic showing. I thought that college gymnastics has done more for a gymnast than Jade Carey, because it's given her a chance to water down her routines, really focus on execution and perfection, which was a little bit of kind of the nitpick that people had for her 4 years ago. And now her skills look cleaner, and she still has the power, and she's having fun. Like, you can tell she's enjoying the crowds and things now. That's what college gymnastics gives you.
That's almost like when you can see how just having a 3-year gap between the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 and now kind of works in your favor, because now you have that experience, and it's not like, you can completely forget about it, right? Last one for me is, forming the team. There's still obviously 2 really big meets left. We have nationals, and then of course the Olympic trials. What do you think has to happen over the next few weeks as we kind of figure out who's going to be where and who's going to make the team and who doesn't?
Right. So the way that it's going to work, from how I understand it now, is, well, for one, they're back to 5 people on the team. It was 4 last Olympics, which was just why. It's already the hardest team to make. I mean, it really is. And you take away another person, that was just crazy. They're back to 5 now. The main thing you're looking at is in the team competition, everybody competes to qualify for the team competition, but then when you're actually competing in team finals, 3 people compete, all 3 scores count. You can't fall. That is the main thing. So the selection committee is going to be looking for people who not only have the difficulty, but can hit and are consistent. And that is what they're really going to be looking for. I believe at Olympic trials, the person who finishes first automatically makes the team. That's why I say Simone Biles is a lock. I'd be blown away if she didn't finish first. And either way, she's a lock. But then after that, that's where it gets interesting, because I think Shilese Jones is a lock. And then you start to look at, okay, what events do we need people on?
Yeah.
And that is where some of these other gymnasts, Sky Blakely had a phenomenal competition. I think that she was somebody that has the committee wondering, like, what do we do with her? I mean, gosh, Jordan Childs. What do we do with Jordan Childs? It's an embarrassment of riches, and that's a good problem to have, but of course it means that somebody's going to be heartbroken.
You think like the NFL draft or the NBA draft or the WNBA draft, you think that was interesting. This is going to be one of the most interesting storylines before the Olympics. The Olympic trials, by the way, for gymnastics, June 27th to the 30th in Minneapolis. By the way, you can watch that on NBC4. Whitney Harding, it is always a pleasure to be talking gymnastics. Certainly not the last we'll be talking about it as we continue the road to Paris, but thank you for the time, and thanks for joining us on this NBC4 Sports Digital Roundtable.